وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإسماعيل وإدريس وذا الكفل كل من الصابرين وأدخلناهم في رحمتنا إنهم من الصالحين صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Ambiya. Last time in this session we had read about Sayyidina Ayyub ala Nabina alayhi salatu wassalam, and we had read that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had put him into a test by inflicting him with a severe sickness in which his body started to rot and fall off. The one thing that should be mentioned is that our beloved Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has told us that the point that we need to make here is that this affliction or disease or calamity or trial and hardship in life is not a sign of Allah's unhappiness, is not a sign of Allah's displeasure. Sometimes we very easily say that, na'uzu billah, a Muslim country is being attacked by another country, for example, or a Muslim country or a lot of Muslims are killed, have lost their lives in an earthquake or any natural calamity. So it's not necessarily a sign of Allah's displeasure. A lot of times Allah is happy with those people and is still testing them. The Prophet ﷺ has said that the most severe of challenges, the most severe intense of tests are put on the Ambiya themselves, who are the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who have the perfect faith in that time. And then those who are close to them, who are like them, and then those who are like them. Thumma amthaluhum. Those who are close to Ambiya, they are afflicted with tests and calamities as a way of testing them. So we should not think. This story of Hazrat Ayyub also contains this lesson, that somebody who is going through a hard time in their life, that does not mean that they are away from Allah or Allah is not happy with them. And similarly, if somebody is living a luxurious life full of plenty and abundance, that does not mean that Allah is really happy with them. May Allah always stay happy with us, no matter what the state is, and may Allah always make our lives easy and comfortable. Ameen. Tonight we are going to read about three Ambiya, wa Ismail, wa Idris, wa Dhal Kifl. Hazrat Ismail and Hazrat Idris. Hazrat Ismail, the famous one, the son of Hazrat Ibrahim. His story has been mentioned in detail elsewhere. Hazrat Idris is also another Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third one, Dhal Kifl, the ulama, mufassirin, have different views about him. Some say that he was not a Nabi, he was just a pious person. Some say that he was a Khalifa of a Nabi. He was the Khalifa of a Nabi known by the name of Yasa alayhi salam. And some say that initially he was the Khalifa and a very pious person, and later on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also chose him, gave him nubuwwah, prophethood. His name is Dhal Kifl. Kifl means pact. Dhal Kifl would be the person of pact, the person who upholds the pact. And the background that's written for this name in the tafsir is that Hazrat Yasa alayhi salam, when he became very old, he decided that he has to appoint somebody who would take care of the affairs of his people after he passes away. So he placed before people, announced among people that there's these three conditions that I'm looking for in a person who can take care of my people after me. And those three conditions were very strict. The first one of that was that that person must remain awake all night. He should be such a person who stays awake all night and never sleeps in night. The second was that in the morning, during the day, he always stays with fasting. He's always fasting. And the third thing, the hardest of them all, was that he never becomes angry. He never becomes angry. So in that gathering where he announced, nobody rose up, only a very poor and a very shabby looking person who did not appear to be in any good worldly shape. He rose and he said that I have these three conditions. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such that he was tested, that does he keep his pact or not. So it is written in narrations that when he was picked by Yasa alayhi salam, when he was about to be picked by Yasa alayhi salam, Shaitan put his full force, full weight behind trying to make him break his pact. So what Shaitan did was, instead in that, he collected all those his disciples, and they said that this man is so firm that we cannot handle him. So then Shaitan said that leave him to me. And then Shaitan came up with an idea that he did so that his time was that he would stay awake all night, he would fast during the day, he would sleep for a short while after Zuhr or in the afternoon, not necessarily after Zuhr, but in the afternoon. So Shaitan went to him at that particular time, knocked on his door and asked him to come out. When he came out, he said that he started to tell him tales about his his suffering, that I have a family but they have taken everything away from me, they don't want to give anything to me and all those, and spent all the time in his discussion. And that afternoon Hazrat Kifl could not do his afternoon nap or qailula, and he went on starting his next his evening and then his nighttime prayers. And the next day Hazrat Kifl had said to him that come to me during the day when I have my sitting with people and I'll decide between you people. But the next morning he did not come, and the whole day passed but he did not come, and right on the time when it was time for him to sleep, he knocked on the door again. And Hazrat Kifl opened the door and he said that I am that same person who came and met you yesterday for my justice. Hazrat Kifl said that I had told you to come during the day, why did you not come? So he said that the people who have oppressed me, who have taken my share, they are so treacherous that when they found out that you have called us to your sitting, they said that we'll give it to you, whatever your share is, so that they don't have to come to the public and be disgraced. But now as soon as you got up, they said that we are not going to give it to you. So the problem is the same. And he started telling him tales again and wasted all his time. He said that the next morning come again and I'll decide between you guys. But the next morning he did not come, so Hazrat Kifl could not go on for sleep, had to go on without sleep for 2 consecutive nights. And then the third afternoon when he was doing qailula, Hazrat Kifl closed the door and commanded that nobody be allowed to knock or enter through the door, and he went into his inner chambers to sleep. But Shaitan, when he found that out, he went in through because these jinn people, they have these kind of capacities, he went through a window and he knocked right on his inner door. And Hazrat Kifl, when he came out, he realized that the doors are closed and he has come through some other place, not a proper place where a human being can come. Then he realized that this is Shaitan. So he asked him, are you Shaitan? He said, yes, I am Shaitan, and you really frustrated me in my efforts that you did not give up on the pact that you had made. So these are some of it has been mentioned in the hadith. Some of these might be Israeliyat, some of these might be narrations from the Israelites, but this is what, since it was mentioned in the tafsir, so I mentioned it as well. So this is why his name was kept Hazrat Kifl. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling him Kifl. Most likely this is the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling him Kifl. Kullum min as-sabirin. Allah is saying that all of them were very patient people. And again, sabr is staying steadfast upon the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter what the situation may be. وَأَدْخَلْنَاهُمْ فِي رَحْمَتِنَا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we entered them into our mercy. So from this, the ulama have said that Allah is collectively saying for all three of them, then this probably means that all three of them were Ambiya. إِنَّهُمْ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. They were all among the righteous people. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم اجعلنا من أهل القرآن الذين هم أهلك وخاصتك وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.